Okay, we're back on our motor here. So, got cold and late last night, so we stopped. Okay, first thing I do is get this thing on top dead center on the rear cylinder. So we got the bike jacked up now with the rear wheel in the air. Put up in high gear over there on that side.
High gear?
High gear.
Is it alright? Set these down on the cardboard? Or no? Get dirty.
Here. So you in high gear now?
Yeah, or all the way fifth gear.
Okay, so we got to figure out now is what gear we are going to be in so we can put this motor together. Now we want the piston to be at top dead center and we adjust the valves. You got two positions when the piston comes up. One's on compression stroke, which is when the piston fires, and the other one's on the overlap stroke when both valves are open. So every other time it's on compression. So you have to adjust the valves on the compression stroke. So you gotta make sure your valves are closed, which means the lifters are all the way down and not moving when you come up on top dead center. So right now we are on one of the two positions, I don't know which. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our push rods over here.
So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So we're going to take, first thing I do is make sure the push rod O-rings are up in there, which they should be. Yep, and they're down here.
Yep, I can see them both in there.
And those ones are up in there too. Yep. Okay. Now, take the hair off. So this is our first one, which is the outer one in this case. Drop it through the hole. Like that.
Number 2.
Okay, so now when you turn your wheel, you can see what's going on.
Alright, so we'll do that.
And then we have a Phillips screwdriver for top dead center indication, so we know we're out on that too. So, now there was no weight in high gear because that was the first gear.
Alright, so you gotta spin the wheel, I guess.
Okay, so now, you rotate the motor and see the push rods are moving. See how they're moving? Means you're not on one of the two strokes right now.
That's what we want, right?
So I gotta figure out where the piston's at. Okay, there's the piston right there. See the screwdriver's coming up?
Yep.
See how these two push rods are moving?
Mm-hmm.
It's called overlap stroke.
Alright.
So we're at top dead center, but we're on the wrong revolution. So let me rotate around. Valve comes up again. See how the valve's coming up?
Yeah.
See how these are not moving now?
Alright. Yep. Can't see
Okay,
that.
so there's top dead center, compression stroke, pistons firing. We're making horsepower. All that good stuff. So this is where you want the valves to be clearanced at. You want both valves to be closed at this point, so this is where we're going to adjust them at. So this is where we're going to put our motor together at also. So,
You always want to make sure you got it in high gear, right?
so here's our two gaskets. Now these ones I went on have to scrape for an hour and a half to get clean.
And that's so it turns easier, right?
What's
high
that?
Gear, the high gear part.
Yes, you have more leverage. The gear ratio's in your favor, not against you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so there, that gasket goes on there. This is a rocker box that I previously scraped and cleaned. So now this goes in there like this. And if you notice it's in the air right now because the hydraulics are holding it up in the air. If you tighten this all down, it will compress the hydraulics and it'll be adjusted. Now I'm going to readjust the valves because we changed gaskets. I don't know what the difference in gaskets are, so I'll readjust the valves, but theoretically I shouldn't have to, but we're going to anyway. Okay, where's all our bolts? Right here.
They should be in the bag, which is in a little cardboard box. Right here. Should be all your bolts for the. Oh no, not the housing. All right.
Bolts are over here because I took these apart myself.
Yeah, I got you.
I remember.
Yeah, you're correct.
Well, I took the hardware apart and put it
You
in a
did.
basket, and then I cleaned all the oil off so that they wouldn't.
Because I remember the lesson I learned. And
So I could put Loctite on them, and the Loctite would stick.
remember the lesson I learned was don't loosen the rocker frame, right?
Sweater here wants to eat me.
Or loosen the rocker frame when the valve pressed, or the rocker's over.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
These
Okay, now
are-
you got long bolts and short bolts. So you have to figure out which one's which. Those all three there, they're the same so far.
There you
See,
go.
that one is shorter by a 1/4 inch. So the short bolt goes on the low boss. See, this boss is high here, and see how that one's lower over there?
Mm-hmm.
So this one goes over here. Looks like we got more high ones than low ones.
That's not good.
Looks like this motor's got all high ones. These appear to be all the same height except for the one over here. So this is the only one that's short. Wonderful. That'll be the next shortest one. These all seem to be pretty consistent in height. This one's missing a washer. There's your washer. Goes there. Goes there. That won't go in the hole because the shaft's in the wrong spot. These ones all seem to be about right. So they go in the next one. Okay, so this shaft here is not lined up correctly, that's why it's not letting me put the bolt in the hole. So, the shafts have a little notch in them, it has to be at the right spot. Where'd my screwdriver go to? Phillips. In here.
This one?
Nope, this one. So I need to get the crescent cutaway on here to be where it belongs. Appears it doesn't want to move. Okay, that's why it doesn't want to move. See, here's the crescent cut. Instead of being where the bolt was, it's in the wrong position. So you put it right there, shove it in. And the bolt goes in now, and that's what locks the shafts in. Now all this crap they're talking about, rocker lockers or something where you have no inflate in your shafts, it's a bunch of hokey. Otherwise known as bullshit. That is not what's causing noise. This going back and forth does not make noise. They can claim that all they want, but it ain't right. The noise is coming from your valve train down below. And your loose rocker shafts and everything else except for the side plate.
Is that because they always got tension on them, probably? Huh?
It's just it ain't the noise. They like to claim that, but no way they can sell you a bunch of crap you don't need. Okay, so now we take our Loctite. Loctite the bolts. Gaskets in the way. I Loctite these bolts because I don't want them to come loose inside the motor, which they do. Give me a bolt. Trade you. Okay, you need to get some 3 hex bolts and 2 Allen bolts out of that pile. So So line the gasket up and get the bolts to start.
Washers on everything, correct?
Yep. The gasket has big holes in it, so you kind of wiggle around until the bolts go through. Get all the bolts in there started, that way the gasket will center up to where it wants to be. You pull the box down with these big bolts, not the little small 1/4 inch bolts. You gotta make sure this bolt doesn't bottom out because it's really long. It's not supposed to be long. It is what it is.
Worked fine before.
You don't know that. These things together before.
Yes, you're right. It wasn't loose when we took it out, so it's a good thing.
Bolt could have been bottomed out, it would have been tight, but it was still been
Yeah.
loose.
Got you there.
See, this bolt's getting tight. We still got an 1/8 inch more to go yet.
Very good thing.
The cover's not down all the way, it's putting on another something
That
here.
could be causing the noise, huh? Probably not.
Okay, so now they're all just touched right now, but the box is in the air because the push rods are holding up. Now I got no tension. I can move it again. Okay, where's your bolts?
Bolts.
So we've got 4 long bolts, Allens. They go in the outer corners. Go ahead and get that started.
2, right?
There's only one there.
Yeah, so that's 2.
1 per hole.
Yeah, I got you. Just 4 per.
And then you get the little hex bolts here. These are grade 8. These are supposed to be. Because you torque the snot out of this stuff. And make sure there's a washer underneath the head of the bolt too, because it has to spread the load on that aluminum box. So you want to see a nice good washer there.
Go ahead and start it, right?
Yep. One of those long wrenches over there will do it for you. Nope. Nope. Getting closer now. Gee, look at that. Oh. I'm not torquing, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so you bring the box down, wobble around a little bit. Pull this up a little bit so you can see a little better. So what I do is I center it up and I push it this direction with my 2 thumbs, center it back and forth, and that's where I start tightening out. Tighten all 4 of these bolts equally. Basically, we're opening the valves right now because the push rod hydraulics are engaged right now. Just give it a little bit of time here. Do a cross pattern. See, that bolt's getting really, really tight, but it's up in the air, isn't it?
Tidbit, you're almost there. Oh, yeah, it's still up in there.
I feel like they're going all the way. Okay, give me that black wrench over there. So this is preset for 5/16 bolts. Which is roughly about 25 foot-pounds. I think 18 to 23 is where it should be. And then I go a little extra because I like tightening stuff. So that's torque. And we go a little more just to make sure it's tight. I don't know if you can get to yours or not. Oh, you can. Okay, next one. Will it fit in there or not?
A little sideways.
Nope. Over here you feel what the torque is on that. And you go about the same on that. Okay. Where's the other torque wrench? No. No. That would be a torque wrench. So your torque wrenches are adjustable for torque.
Gotcha.
Give me the other red one over there. Give me the other red one over there. The other red one. You already had that one. This one has the Allen in it for tightening the Allen bolts up. What are you dicking around my wrench for? Did I tell you to screw my wrench?
I'm not gonna dick around with it. I was just checking what it was.
I don't know what it is.
Looks like it said 150.
Whatever that is. Should be about 15. Should be around 15 to 18 would be a guess.
I remember.
Okay, now these are the 1/4 inch ones, so do the 1/4 inch.
You want me to bounce around, huh?
Just do them all. Pull them on down. That one must be tight. See, the other red handle one tightens the bolts down. And then the torque wrench torques them. Let's see, this wrench will do both.
I didn't get all my seated.
Let's use a wrench. You can go back and forth like all you want until you go back and click it. It ain't gonna make no difference.
Feels like it already clicked on
No, it clicked.
there. 2 of those.
There's actually 3.
Yeah.
There's another one right here.
Good.
See, I can go like this too. See? Let me get in my wrench. Use the other one to do those. It will not click, it will only tighten. There we go.
She's going about the same torque.
Yeah, but that's a bit longer, so it's not the same torque.
Got you. See, that's good right there.
It's actually made for the rocker box lids. Low profile ratchet wrench.
Yeah, what you definitely need. So yeah, let's see, that's about what we need right there.
I don't know. I'm not doing it.
Double check the master.
They're pretty tight. So everybody wants to know what tools I use. I use this one. Now there's a different brand that sells this now. I've had that for 20 years. Vendors changed. Okay, so now, why don't you put that down there out of our way?